Welcome back to Primetime News, and a special welcome if you're watching online at onespotmedia.com. Prime Minister Andrew Holness has announced stricter measures for the Easter holiday period. He made the announcement at a press conference that is still in progress. Now, TVJ's Andrea Chisholm was listening and now joins us live. Andrea, what's the latest?
Well, Herman, with many persons anticipating the long Easter weekend, Prime Minister Andrew Holness made it clear that there's no room for complacency in the fight against COVID-19. So this is what's going to happen. As is the case, the curfew will continue tonight from 8 p.m. to 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. And on Holy Thursday, that's tomorrow, the curfew will run from 8 p.m. to 7 Friday morning. Now, when Good Friday comes, that's where it gets tricky. And until Easter Monday, there's a major change in the curfew. And it will begin at 3 o'clock in the afternoon each day until 7 o'clock the following morning. So you cannot be on the road from 3 in the afternoon. And as for markets, on Thursday, they will open from 6 o'clock in the morning to 7 in the afternoon.
The markets will be closed on Good Friday, Easter Sunday, and Easter Monday. And this will include the market district. It will include transportation hubs, where there is vending taking place, and the arcades. All beaches will be closed over the Easter weekend. Let me repeat that. All beaches will be closed over the Easter weekend. That means all beaches will be closed from Good Friday through to Easter Monday.
Now, there were also additional guidelines for the wearing of masks, especially for people with flu-like illnesses. This is what the Prime Minister had to say.
You have a fever to start with. You have a persistent cough. You may have a cold. You might be sneezing persistently. Those are generally the symptoms that we are talking about. But there might be others. You might have difficulty breathing and so forth. Persons caring for someone at home with a flu-like or respiratory illness. 3, elderly persons over the age of 65. I think we made an error here. Senior persons over the age of 65. And persons with comorbidities should wear a mask. And what are comorbidities? I'll ask the CMO to, at a later stage, explain. But these are what we call the pre-existing conditions. Some of them are non-communicable diseases, the hypertension, the diabetes, as we said, respiratory illnesses.
And there have also been changes, Herman, to the stay-at-home order, and that will begin from April 8 to 21. Now, if you're 70 years and older, you're allowed to go out once per day for food, medicine, and what the Prime Minister calls the necessities of life.
Persons who are ill with flu-like symptoms or respiratory symptoms, they must stay at home. We're also advising the following categories of persons to stay home. Again, persons with comorbidities and persons with respiratory illnesses. So even if you are not 70 years of age, even if you don't have symptoms of flu or respiratory illnesses, if you have these comorbidities, the diabetes, the hypertension, we recommend that as much as possible, you stay at home. If you don't have to be on the road, stay at home. If you have respiratory illnesses, but you're not showing symptoms, you may have terrible sinusitis, you may have asthma. If you don't have to be on the road, if you don't have to go to the market, stay at home.
On the latest coming from the Prime Minister's press conference, so everyone will have to adjust their holiday period for this Easter weekend.
Okay, thank you very much, Andrea. In the meantime, Attorney General Marlene Malahoo Fort says there will be a comprehensive review of legislation enabling the government to put measures in place during times of disaster.
On the instruction of the Prime Minister, the Minister of Justice has been charged with the responsibility of assisting the Ministry of Health to do a review, in particular, of the Quarantine Act, which is quite dated and requires up-to-date regulations and other provisions for the quarantining of persons. The Public Health Act is also under review for a better and up-to-date framework for public health and also the management of diseases, among other things. In the Ministry of National Security, we are revising the Immigration Restriction Commonwealth Citizens Act, and that is the act that regulates the entry of Commonwealth citizens into Jamaica, as well as citizens of Jamaica, and also the Aliens Act that deals with foreigners. We have a consequential amendment to do to the Constitution of Jamaica, a consequential amendment to the Emergency Powers Act in relation to a period of disaster. An amendment was made to the Constitution in 2012, which should have been carried through to the Emergency Powers Act, separating a period of public emergency from a period of public disaster. And that unfortunately was not done, and we are in the process of doing so.